you're dealing with knee pain, especially when you're going up or downstairs, doing squats or lunges, this video is for you. Today we'll be taking a look at non-traumatic mechanical knee pain, which is knee pain that's not resulting from any acute injury. The knee pain that we're taking a look at is going to be located below the knee joint line and on the inner aspect of the knee. There are two main things that we need to take a look at. One is movement quality, the second is tissue capacity. When we first think of movement quality, the thing that most people think about is avoid bad form, but you got to get rid of that idea. There is no such thing as bad form, there is only movement. There are positions that may aggravate how your knee feels, sure, and there are positions that may make it feel better or easier for your knee. That's where we want to kind of stick with, especially when you're dealing with any type of pain in the knee. The main thing that I really care about when it comes to movement quality is whether or not you can control the knee. It doesn't really matter if you're going in or out, it's just whether or not you're doing that on purpose or you're just doing that because you just don't know how to move this knee. Generally speaking, when it comes to moving with good movement quality or good movement control, the position that we really like to kind of develop is getting your kneecap to track between the second and third toe, because that's kind of like the middle of your foot. When we're able to do that during activities like when we go squat and when we do lunges, then you can actually develop that sense and awareness of how to move that knee. This isn't to say that if you're doing a very heavy squat, if your knees go in a little bit, that this is a bad thing. It's just whether or not you're able to control this, especially when you're doing submaximal loads, that's when it can affect how efficiently you can recover from doing those exercises. Now, if you're having trouble with controlling that knee, there are a few exercises that you can do. Particularly, we're going to do some reactive neuromuscular training for your knee. This will get your hip abductors and your hip adductors fired up so that it can work to stabilize that knee, in addition to you using your quadriceps muscle, which is just the front of your thigh. If you're having trouble controlling your knee from collapsing inwards, one of the things you can do that's an R&T exercise are banded squats, okay? So all you gotta do is just take a nice band like this, that's a loop, and just put it either above or below your knee. What this is going to do is cue your hip muscles, the hip abductors, to engage. And this will force your knees to drive out, otherwise you'll just collapse even more inwards. So I want you to really think of resisting that band from pulling that knee inwards and just complete a squat. And then when you're doing this, you're just gently aiming for those knees to kind of track along the middle of your foot. What you'll also find is if the knee pain that you're experiencing is related to your hip abductors not really stabilizing your knee, then this will actually alleviate some of that knee pain that you're experiencing. You can also do something like crab walks or monster walks. Both these exercises also utilize the band to activate the hip abductors to stabilize that knee for you. Now, if those movements don't alleviate the pain that you're experiencing in your knee or help to increase your movement quality and control of that knee, then actually pulling your knee in the opposite direction might be helpful instead. This is going to recruit your inner thigh muscles, the hip adductors, to engage to stabilize that knee for you. So we're going to set up the band by anchoring it to something stable around knee height. And this band is called a pull-up assist band. And then we're going to loop your leg through the other end. Place a band either above or below the knee, whichever feels better for you. From here, you're just going to complete those same squats, making sure your knee is well aligned with the midfoot. And if you find that this helps to alleviate the knee pain, then this exercise is for you. And if you found this exercise very beneficial, some accessory exercises that you can do include the Copenhagen plank and the groin slider exercises. Now that we've completed the movement quality exercises, it's time to work on the tissue capacity exercises. Now, tissue capacity really just means we're going to work on how much force or load a muscle or tendon can handle. So basically, we're just strengthening the tissue. The first exercise we're going to do for this, and we're going to do 3 exercises. The first one is the polycone step up. First thing you're going to do is grab something like a plate, and this is going to elevate you off of the floor. So you just place this on the floor, just like that. Next, we're going to get something like a dumbbell or a wedge. So we're going to grab one right now. And I'm going to just use this dumbbell. I'm going to use the handle as a wedge to elevate my heel off of that plate. So now that I'm placing it on the weight, I'm going to put my forefoot on the plate and my heel is elevated on the handle. This is going to give me a bit of an angle to my foot. Now, if you don't have a dumbbell like this, you could use another smaller weight plate as well. You can also use a wedge if you have a wedge, or something like a yoga block if you need a softer surface. From here, you're going to lift the other leg off the floor, and then you're just going to tap the floor in front of you with your opposite foot. What you should want to be paying attention to is having that apex of your kneecap aligning with the middle of your foot, which is around the second to third toe. From there, you're just going to step back up. And while you're doing that, you're contracting your quadriceps. Particularly, this exercise is great at activating the vastus medialis oblique muscle, which is right here. And this muscle is responsible for good knee tracking of the kneecap, okay? So from there, you're going to do another one, just like that. For this exercise, we usually do anywhere between 10 to 12 repetitions that are pain-free. So if you're finding that you are experiencing some knee pain with this exercise, you just might not be ready for this exercise yet. You could just find something else that's a little bit easier, or you can hold on to something to offload your weight. So you can use a wall, you can use a stick, whatever, to decrease the amount of force that you're putting through that knee. The next exercise we're going to be doing is the Bulgarian split squat. The Bulgarian split squat is a great exercise when it comes to developing independent knee strength, which means you're developing the strength to move one knee at a time. This is a unilateral exercise, and I really like to give it to my patients because you can easily manipulate the range of motion or give them an assisted tool like a foam roller to kind of get them to do the exercise with a little bit more ease. To start, what you need is a bench. Now, it doesn't have to be an exercise bench like this one. You can use any chair, sofa, coffee table, whatever you can put your foot on. From here, you're just gonna put your non-target leg on there, and you're not really putting your weight into this leg at all. All you're doing is using it for some extra stability and balance. Once you kind of get into the split squat position, you're going to come down and go as far as you can comfortably go. When it comes to doing the Bulgarian split squat, you want to stick to a tolerable range of motion, which is a range of motion that doesn't kind of aggravate that inner knee pain, okay? So if you can only do half reps, that's cool with me. If you need, you could grab a chair or, like I said, a foam roller. You can offset some of your weight by just pushing down on it. You can push yourself up when you're doing this exercise. The ultimate goal here, though, is to eventually not need something like a foam roller and to eventually deepen that range of motion. If you want to go even deeper because your knee strength is developing, you can use something like a yoga block and place your foot on it instead. And this will elevate your foot so that you can go a little bit deeper. Likewise, you could get rid of the yoga block and you could grab something like dumbbells, and this will add some weight to the movement, increasing their load and resistance. You do this once you're capable of hitting the full range of motion pain-free, and basically it'll allow you to develop even more capacity in your muscle, the tendons, the ligaments surrounding the knee. The purpose of using something like resistance is to progress the exercise over time. This will allow you to become more flexible with the activities that you can do, as it'll give you the ability to handle more different positions, develop more ability to handle different types of loads. All right, the last exercise that we're going to do to level up that knee is for your hamstrings, which is found on the back of your thigh. So the first two exercises that we worked on focuses mostly on contracting the quadriceps. Now we gotta do the other side of your body. So this exercise is called the hamstring bridge. All you need is a floor and maybe a padded surface if you prefer. From here, all you gotta do is just lie down on your back, knees bent longer than 90 degrees. We're gonna go for about 110-ish degrees. For this exercise, you don't need to have your toes on the ground. You can have them just pointed up to the ceiling if that's more comfortable for you. You wanna keep the core braced so that your spine is as neutral as possible. Now, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of extension, but we wanna isolate this exercise to the hamstrings and not to the low back. From here, all you gotta do is raise the pelvis up in the air until your body is in alignment with your thigh. So a lot of people will only get a half rep in with this, but you really want to try to push those hips to the ceiling as much as possible. You're going to feel those hamstrings contract. Now with this exercise, if you find that the double leg hamstring bridge is too easy or becomes too easy after a few weeks of doing that, you just could raise the other leg off the floor to progress the exercise and proceed to doing a single leg hamstring bridge, and you'll feel this much more in that hamstrings. Now on the flip side, if you're finding this hamstring bridge is too hard and you might even be experiencing a cramp in the hamstrings, then you can use your hands, place them on the ground and push into the floor as you lift up to kind of use your upper body to help lift your pelvis off the ground. This exercise, just like the other two exercises, should be done pain-free. Okay, so stick within a range of motion that's comfortable, just like with the other exercises. And you also want to be doing repetitions that are pain-free as well. You could fatigue in these exercises, but you do not want to feel that pain in the front of your knee. If you're looking to even progress this a little bit further, you can use something like a foam roller to act as an unstable surface and place that underneath your feet and do the same motion, so that this requires a little bit more knee stability to protect that knee and to control it while you're doing that exercise. All right, everyone, that wraps up our video of what to do if you have non-traumatic knee pain. If you guys have any questions regarding the exercises that we did today, let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you like the contents of this video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.